What's up, you guys? Zoeb here from OneGlanceTrader.com, and in this video I'll be sharing with you how you can utilize R1 and S1 levels as potential take profit targets, and I'll also be sharing with you a live trade utilizing R1 and S1 in this particular video. But before I start, I just wanted to say a huge thank you. The channel is now past 9,000 subscribers, and again, I'm really thankful for all the comments and feedback you guys have been giving me. And we are so close now to the massive 10,000 subscribers. Looking at my Google and YouTube analytics, the run rate is showing that we should get to 10K subscribers before 2020 is out. But I'm going to set all of us a goal of by 15th of December is to get to 10,000 subscribers. If we can do that by 15th of December, I'll be super happy. And I've been thinking about what I'm going to do to give back to you guys even more value if we get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you guys have got any thoughts or comments on that, please leave them in the comments below. So like I said, in this video we're going to be looking at R1 and S1 levels as potential take profit targets. So why am I telling you that R1 and S1 levels are potential take profit targets? Well, before I do that, let me show you what I've got on my screen. That might actually help. So what I've got here is the OGT Pivot Points Indicator, and I've obviously got the RSI MTF indicator as well, which is, again, you guys know I love that indicator. And what I've done is I've only selected the R1 and S1 levels to be true. And what you've got here is you can see for all the previous days where the R1 and S1 levels were. And again, these are fixed lines that do not move, do not repaint. They are based on a standard mathematical calculation to calculate the pivot point and then the respective R1 to 3 and S1 to 3 levels. And the reason why I'm saying that these are great profit-taking levels, especially if you're doing day trading, is because these levels get hit quite often. So it's around 75 to 78% of the time that R1 and S1 levels that were set for the day will be hit. So what I've done very quickly is I've taken a screenshot of my screen now, and please excuse my lack of writing abilities on my laptop here. And all I've done is had a look at whether or not the R1 or S1 levels have been hit for the particular day. So the ones that I know, if you look at that one, we were quite close there. It literally just missed it there. So in theory, that should really, in my view, be a yes, which I'll go into in a second. And this other one was a very, lull ranging trading day. But all the other days you can see either R1 or S1 or both in this particular example were both hit in the trading day. And I know this is a very small sample and that got us to this 77% mark, but yeah, like I said before, it's in the high 70% that we can expect R1 and S1 to be hit. Now, how can we utilize that inside our trading? If we know that we have a bias in the market that we want to go long or we want to go short, then we can potentially look for various confluence factors to get us that, if they're all aligned, that can get us to the profit level of S1 and R1. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you into a trade that I took a couple of days ago, walk you through the setup of why I think that price is going to go in that direction, whether R1 or S1 was my take profit target, where I put my stop loss, and then the outcome of that particular trade. So it's very interesting, the outcome of the trade. Hopefully you can start utilizing this concept inside your trading if you find it useful. And again, you can download the OGT Pivot Points Indicator. It's absolutely free. Link is inside the description on that particular one. So let's now head over to that live trade. So I've just placed an entry on the USD JPY, and I wanted to walk you through logic of this trade, as well as giving you an example of how you can utilize R1 and S1 levels as potential take profit targets. Now, the first thing you need to do is obviously have an entry signal or a trading strategy that you want to use to get into a trade. So again, that could be any strategy that, your favorite strategy, whatever that might be. However, in this example, what I've done here is just utilize my OGT trend dashboard and found a pair that has a bias toward either the long side or the short side. And as you can see from here, that the bias is very heavily weighted to the downside. So now I know that I'm looking for an entry signal to kind of go short in this current pair. The next thing I look at is, once I plot in my R1 and S1 levels on the chart, I really wanted to understand how far price is away from those levels to make it worthwhile a trade. And personally, if you're going to use this type of strategy of using R1 and S1 as potential take profit targets, you really want to do it earlier in the day, because that is where the potential growth is, or the distance that price is away from those potential levels. So if we just get the crosshair up, you can see I'm just going to go just above my entry, otherwise it's going to move things around. Price is around 19 pips away from R1 and around 27 pips away from S1. So we know we're going short. So we've got about 27 pips between where we are currently, or from where I entered, to where the S1 level is, which is great. So our logic is, or our theory is that there's a high probability that price is either going to hit the R1 level or the S1 level today. And we think our bias is to go short, so therefore we're about 27 odd pips away from S1. Now, what other levels or confirmation could we do, not only to say the likelihood of S1 being hit today, or that price will continue to go short? So the first thing is, let's have a look at S1 being a higher probability of being a potential target. So as I talked about previously, the S1 and R1 on a daily basis gets hit quite regularly. And one thing that also gives it a higher probability chance is, where is R1 and S1 in relation to the ADR? So as you can see here, these purple lines and these green lines are the ADR for today and the previous days. And what you're looking for, you are looking for R1 and S1 to be inside the ADR band. So the ADR is the average daily range. So the currency pair of the USD JPY is expected to move on average, and as you can see, 45 pips today, which is looking at the high and the low of the current price action over here. So we're expecting price to get within this in this range. It may hit the range, it may not. And as you can see from the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, what I can see here, it's only hit its ADR twice, as you can see from the green over here. However, even though that it's only hit it twice out of the 5 days, 6 days, let's have a look where they were in relation to the R1 and S1, and did R1 and S1 get hit. So S1 got hit yesterday, which was again inside the ADR band. The day before, S1 was again hit, and so was the ADR, and it was inside the ADR band. The day before, R1 was hit and was inside the ADR band. S1 got clipped and again was inside the ADR bands. Here, the R1 and S1 were outside of the ADR, and as you can see, the ADR nor the R1 or S1 was hit. So I tend to stay away from days where the ADR is not in is outside of the R1 and S1 range. And the day before, S1 was hit, and S1, as you can see, was inside the ADR bands for the day. So you can see here that I feel there's a high probability that R1 or S1 will be hit. I could be completely wrong, and price could continue to go up and hit R1. But where I'm looking at this is that based on the trend dashboard, which is pretty much a sea of red at the moment, and now the the medium time frames when I was looking at these were, I think the M5 was green and the other two were still or the M30 was green, sorry, and now that's turned into neutral because price, as you can see now, is starting to go down back down over here, and hopefully it'll get to the S1 level. So why did I place my entry at this level here? Again, we've got the confluence of price, the EMAs all pointing in the right direction to go down. I've just drawn this loose trend line, so we've got 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, and now 4 touches of this trend line. And every time price has hit theirs, price has gone down, price has gone down. This didn't quite make it, but it's clipped it there, gone down, and now it's floating at this level here. So that's one area of why I think price will continue to go down. And the other thing is we have got hidden bearish divergence. So if we just look here, or this one, this peak and this peak. So this peak is one, that's another peak. When you look at the next peak, this peak is actually higher than this peak. So the MACD is making higher highs. And then you can see that price is making lower highs. So again, I've got a number of videos on bullish regular and hidden divergence, and I've got a playlist on it, and I'll link to that in the top right corner. I'm a big fan of hidden divergence and regular divergence, as you guys know. And then what happened? Price went down, and now what you can see, what we've got here, we've got another peak, and price then made a lower high, but the MACD, as you can see, has made a higher high, and now price has just crossed over around this level over here. So just at the end of the day, but I was waiting to see what happened, or where the R1 S1 kind of opened for the day for its fixed lines. And with this trend line, with the hidden divergence and the high probability that S1 or R1 will get hit, along with the trend dashboard, makes me think that price is going to continue to go downwards and hopefully get to the S1 level. Now, where have I put my take profit and my stop loss? So the stop loss, again, a fairly simple one, is above the highs. If price gets to this level here, it's so close to the R1, and then I was completely wrong. But if it does hit R1, then again, my logic holds true that R1 or S1 get hit quite often during most trading days. And again, for it being inside the ADR bands currently, that again is giving me confidence that the R1 or S1 will be hit. But I'm utilizing other factors to say that S1 is a more likely target because of everything I've just gone through. And as you can see, what I've done is I have not put my take profit right onto S1, because again, it might not get anywhere near it. I might get a bit of slippage or something on that like that. So what I've done is I've literally just put it just above the low of yesterday, which is a few pips above where S1 is. So every time I look at whether it's pivot levels or R1 or S1 levels as my take profit target, I never put it right on the line. I always put it at a few pips above or below, or at a significant level which is just below or above the target where I need to get to, because I don't need price to go all the way to that level. So even if it gets halfway, okay, it's more than halfway in this example, but I don't need it to go all the way. And if we look at where this is, it is 142 pips there against 206. So again, it's better than a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio, which is a really good place to be. and yeah, so like I said, whatever happens, I will show you what happens if I get this completely wrong. You know, it happens in trading. I'm not going to get everything 100% right. So stay tuned. I will pause the video here and I shall see you guys in a second for the outcome of this trade. So it's 24 hours later and I wanted to show you guys the outcome of this trade, and the best way to describe it is I was wrong, but I was also right. So as you can see, I just redrew in roughly around the level of where my stop loss was, and which was above these highs over here. So as I got into the trade, price started to go slightly in my favor, and we were expecting price to kind of bounce off this trend line and to hit S1. And what you can see what happened is straight after I kind of turned off the video is that price did this massive bullish candle and clipped my stop loss. And as you can see here, it just went underneath the R1 level, then turned around and went all the way down, all the way hitting to S1. So going back to what I said is I was wrong where I expected price to go down at this level. Price went up and clipped my stop loss, and then went down all the way down to my take profit target. And I'm sure this happens to you guys every single time, of where price goes against you slightly, hits your stop loss, and then literally goes in the direction you expect it to go. It happens again. There's many reasons why that happens, but you know, people think about stop runs and all these kind of different things of where the smart money is and all that kind of good stuff. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but the concept still in my head remains true, that we expected price to go hits the S1 level, which it did, and in the same trading day it also hit R1. And as you can see that the ADR lines moved as time went on, because the ADR measures the high and the low and make sure that the lines are the ADR away from the highs and the lows, which is why they move throughout the day. So overall, yes, disappointed. You know, I lost just over just over 1 hour on this particular trade. But again, if you keep your trade sides, you know, to the right level and things like that, the whole point is preservation of capital and living to trade another day. Now I'm not going to go into, at the moment, I'm not keen on any of these kind of levels at the moment. I'm not really sure where price is going to go. But I'm expecting, you know, again, price to, with high probability, to hit the R1 or the S1 level. And again, currently the ADR or the R1 and S1 is inside the ADR, which is what you want to see at the moment. So again, I just wanted to share that with you. Again, you know, I don't win every single trade, but I still feel that my logic is holding true. And you know, look at this as another concept now of your particular trading strategy that you guys enjoy using, and utilizing R1 and S1s as potential, you know, take profit targets. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Again, we've got a thumbnail on the screen now that kind of goes through all my other trading strategies, and click on one of those and I shall see you guys in the next video.